What's going on, everybody? This is Derek, and with me today is the only man to still confuse cinnamon with trail dirt, and it's Carl Mandrioli. I don't get it. Still.
Welcome to the Backpacking Glitchers podcast. We today is Derek Somerville. He's a man who is so ultra light, he asks his friends to carry some of his gear.
I do. Mainly Carl.
Yeah, that's not a joke. That's actually just a true story.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do
This
you
could be a fun
consider
one.
yourself an ultralight backpacker, Derek?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean,
You'd
I
like to
think
be the lightest,
I'm
right?
a lightweight backpacker.
Right.
I'm not like we've talked to people and interviewed people that are like way lighter than us, under 20-pound packs. So
Yeah.
no, I think I would say I'm a lightweight backpacker.
All right, but not
Ultralight, no. I have
right.
I have a full toothbrush, so not, I'm like,
Right.
that
that by itself disqualifies you.
That alone is enough.
I actually came up with 3 things that you bring that
Here we go.
mean that you're not an ultralight backpacker.
Oh, I know. Slippers is one. Is that on there?
Wait, are you bringing? I thought you're bringing slippers down.
Pajama pants.
Pajama pants.
Okay.
Correct. Most ultralighters don't bring a backpacking chair. Some might as their luxury item, but most don't.
Okay. True.
Okay. And then this is a new item that you brought on last summer's trip that we haven't really talked about at all.
Oh.
And this is I've never seen anybody bring it before. And this is called backpacking makeup.
Oh, you're talking about the sunscreen I had.
You can call it whatever you want, but it's just straight up like it's skin toned makeup that was literally caked on your face. It was the most disgusting thing.
My sister, true story. My sister had some of this sunscreen and we were in Hawaii. And I was like, oh, I don't have any. Can I like borrow some of this face stuff? So I put it on my face and I didn't realize it. Yeah, it looks like cover up. I mean, it was like intense. So I didn't really, so I got mocked, everybody, to say the least. But
but wait. So that wasn't your first time bringing it. You actually tried it out somewhere else and were like, this is good enough for me to bring.
Well, when I used it in Hawaii, I wasn't like caking it on. I just borrowed like a little bit. So it wasn't that bad. But then when I brought it on the show, I was like, oh yeah, this is great. It's like flesh toned. It's like lightweight. And then I'm like, let me just like put it on like baseball players under their eyes with the black makeup stuff. And it was just like, what happened to your face? Are you in a movie? Like, what happened to you?
Right.
Jeez.
Right.
It was. And then I looked at my.
Best way I can describe it is take some, like typical makeup that women wear, put it on a spatula, and then smear it over somebody's beard. That's what it looked like.
Yeah. Yeah. I had my L'Oreal or whatever it was. I don't know. No, I had the whole. It seemed like I had a product line.
I think your sister called it sunscreen, but I think if you look at the package, it was probably just called makeup.
It's called. Look, I'll give people the name. It's called Versa. I think it's called Versa. It's a little black stick, and it's sunscreen. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, there you go.
You want to Google that? I
think Derek and I just sold you on getting one of those for the next backpack.
There you go.
Right.
You're welcome, everybody.
Okay.
Ladies.
All right.
Don't bring the makeup. Bring the Versa. There you go. I'm here for everybody.
Okay.
All right. We got a fun one. This is gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
So we've geared this episode around kind of what, like the old, like you might be a redneck kind of thing, right?
Kind of based on that, but ultralight nerd. I think people like to identify as like an ultralight backpacker or somebody who's, moving in that direction for sure. So we'll get to that in a minute. I do want to say that we put out an episode. This one was with John Kelly. So you didn't make this episode, but we were talking about gear ripoffs, and we got a lot of on one of the biggest ripoffs in our opinion. We got a lot of pushback on. So we'll talk about which company we had some feedback about at the end. But all right. This episode is brought to you by Enlightened Equipment. You might be an ultralight nerd in a good way if you shop at enlightenedequipment.com. Okay. Bible verse of the episode, Proverbs 1:7. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Derek, are you able to learn from your foolish decisions?
Like wearing makeup on the trail? That we're talking about?
That could be one. Wow, you're owning that one. I thought you give pushback for sure on that. You're actually
it's an argument I'm not going to win with you. I know
you don't
in my
own
heart,
anything. Like you never owned your mistakes.
I know in my heart what it was. Convincing you that will be impossible.
Take
so
me out of it.
I'm just going to cave. I'm just going to cave on that. Do I learn? I mean, I'd like to think I do. I think as I get older, hopefully I get better at it. But still always have work to do. What about you? Are you the perfect student of this topic, or what would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this past week, I just made a major mistake that was a mistake that I'd made before, and I just beat myself up for it. So
wow.
I broke my computer last week.
Oh, I heard. Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm actually using the broken computer right now because I haven't fully replaced it. But anyway, and so I was having a hard time paying full price to buy a new computer because I buy Apple computers, which are egregiously expensive.
Yeah.
And in the past, I had gone on like eBay to buy a used version, and then I get a lemon, and then I was like, okay, I just learned. I told myself, if you buy a computer, especially if you're buying one that you can do a lot of stuff on, not just email and internet stuff, you got to just like suck it up and pay the money for it. Just buy.
You got to do it. Yeah.
I didn't do it. I bought another used one that I found a great deal on, and apparently this one was from like Latin America, and the keys were all weird.
Dude, just
I got taken again, dude. I got taken again.
Well, that's a rookie move right there. Do you don't want to tell the family, the B&B family, how you broke your computer? Because that's a fun story.
Didn't I just say it? I sat on it.
Oh, you sat on it. Okay, I didn't hear you say that. Yeah,
he's like late at night, and I was like moving stuff around, and I was having a hard time going to sleep. And then I put the computer down, and then I sat down for a second to plug something in, and I sat on the computer.
Unbelievable.
And it has a pretty like heavy duty case on it, so I think I need.
What does that say? Yeah, I was gonna say. I didn't want to say, but I should say. So to get to it. Okay. Let's hit this list. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So full disclosure, we love ultralight backpackers. I'm going to try to be an ultralight backpacker this summer, but some people take it a little too far. All right, here we go. You might be an ultralight nerd if, Derek.
Okay. You want me to go first?
Sure.
All right, I'll go first. You might be an ultralight nerd if you cut your toothbrush in half. We'll just start easy. We're just going to start easy.
Okay.
It's an easy one.
Unoriginal. I'm gonna say 0 points.
It's an easy one. I'm not getting points for these. I don't care.
Well, I wasn't either until you had a bad answer. So
that is a warm up.
Deal with it.
Okay. Go ahead.
You might be an ultralight nerd if you shave your calluses to save weight.
Shave your calluses? What? Who does that? What are you talking about? I'm going to go -1 points on that.
Okay.
You might be an ultralight nerd if your trowel is also your spoon. Think about it. Think about it.
I like that one. That's a good one. Now we're getting better.
Okay.
You might be an ultralight nerd if your pack is so light, your shoulders don't even get sore in the shoulder seasons.
Wow. We're making jokes out of these now, huh? I think I've taken the lead after that one.
This is supposed to be funny. Have fun with it.
Yes. If you're wondering, yes, I took the lead after that one, guys. Okay, you might be an ultralight nerd if your footprint is also your quilt. Carl?
That doesn't even make sense. You can't use it. You can't.
Why not? What are you talking about?
That's great.
What are you talking about?
That's a good one.
It's absurd.
All right. You might be an ultralight nerd if you shave body hair to save weight.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, though.
Makes sense. Body hair doesn't weigh anything.
It's something. Let me tell you, it's something. Okay. You might be an ultralight nerd if your water bottle is a travel size shampoo bottle. So, you know what I mean? Like just little tiny 2-ouncer. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
Couple sips, you're done.
Okay. You might be an ultralight. I'm having a hard time saying this.
You okay?
You might be an ultralight nerd if you think a trip is a great time for a calorie deprivation diet. Because you're not bringing as much.
You said that. No, I get it. You don't have to explain it. I got that. That's good. That's good. I'm proud of you. That's good. This is one we've all seen in the July trips. I think Rocky's gonna know what this one is. You might be an ultralight nerd if your name is Rocky and you only bring a half a brick of cheddar cheese. Just a half a brick, not the full brick. Just a half a brick. Rock, you know what I'm talking about.
In our latest documentary, we have Rocky chomping on a block. He brought that
the block
on a 50-mile day when we're supposed to be going ultralight. We also have him chomping on those like full summer sausages like it's a power bar. So that's hilarious.
I love it.
Okay,
love it.
You might be an ultralight nerd if you consider bringing floss to replace paracord.
Oh, that's. I mean, if you loop it enough times, you know, becomes pretty strong.
Yeah,
So
I know.
think about it.
That's a good. I like that one.
You might be an ultralight nerd if your name is Carl and you leave your deodorant and toothpaste at home, right? Like you.
That people are just like, what's wrong with that? That's the response to that one.
Well, most of us are kind of like, what is wrong with that? I know what's wrong with that.
Okay.
But maybe not the ultralight.
You might be an
people.
ultralight nerd if you trim your shoelaces and then reweigh them.
Oh, geez, that's absurd. You might be an ultralight nerd if you. I'm going to bring deodorant up again, so don't get all weird. You don't bring a stick of deodorant, but you bring a Ziploc bag of just deodorant shavings, and then you just like, you know what I mean, like rub them on
Outstanding
your pits.
Creativity on that one. Yeah, they just get mashed together. That's nice.
Right, like a putty, like a deodorant putty.
Like a deodorant putty.
So gross, dude.
Okay, you might be an ultralight nerd if you ground your kids for not knowing how many grams are in an ounce.
Oh boy, that is the grams. You and the grams. You have a problem with the grams.
You're welcome.
Ladies, you might be an ultralight nerd if your aqua clip is also a hair clip. Think about it.
For those
ladies.
of us that are still using the aqua clip out there.
Yeah, a lot of people.
0 people. 0.
Incorrect.
You might be an ultralight nerd if you put your gear in your friend's pack, not as a prank.
Carl,
Eric?
you know what I'm talking about. Rocks. Anyway. All right, I got one more. Maybe 2. You might be an ultralight nerd if you use your buff, if you use your buff as a hat, a face mask, a bib, a towel, and a crop top, you might be an ultralight nerd.
You're just telling people like buff fans how they should use their buff, right?
Maybe they're ultralight nerds. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You might be an ultralight nerd if you overpacked your food and then let critters eat up the excess intentionally.
Oh, geez. Come on now. That's
Okay.
absurd. All right. I got one more. I'll do one more.
All right.
You might be an ultralight nerd if you use your dirty underwear as a pillowcase as well. Carl? Carl knows what I'm talking about. After that 20 mile
And the
day,
last one, you might be an ultralight nerd if your idea of a luxury item is water.
We ended on that?
Yeah, that's a good one. You're right. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one.
You would. I don't know if anybody else.
Are you ultralight nerds out there? Do any of these describe you? Derek just described like straight up things like with the broken toothbrush and the buff and like how to use the buff. Yeah, you had some good ones in there, but some were really questionable at best.
May I remind you of your first 2? Is that we go back to those or?
Yeah, go ahead. What were they?
I don't know. It's on the recording. We'll just play it back, guys.
You don't remember, do you?
I tried to block them out. I tried to block them out. That's why. Jeez, it's painful.
All right.
All right. We got
that's our list. That's our list.
That was a solid list of like 20 things. Okay. We do have some good trivia coming up. Ultralight hiking trivia for Carl coming up right after this.
The trail is calling your name. Are you ready? Are you really ready? Our good friend Roan from Summit Strength can get you trail ready. Roan uses rock solid evidence to design a specialized training program just for you. There are plenty of cookie cutter programs out there that will get you only halfway up the mountain. Make it to your adventure summit with Summit Strength. The link to your success is always in our episode description, but you can check out all the information you need at summitstrength.com.au/online. It's time to be strong and pain-free for your next adventure. Ultralight hiking trivia.
And hiking trivia. I think I have one hiking question and a couple of ultralight questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
You have been struggling yet again for another season in trivia. So I'm hoping you do better today.
I haven't gotten any wrong. I haven't lost any. I've gotten some wrong. I haven't lost any.
Well, it's always room to improve. All right. I think you're going to do good on this one, though. Which ultralight camp gear minimizes environmental impact and follows a leave no trace? Is it a portable solar charger? Is it an ultralight hammock? Is it a collapsible water filter? Or is it biodegradable soap sheets?
Soap sheets?
Yeah, like little soap sheets. Biodegradable.
Good description. What's a soap sheet?
Like to wash your stuff with, and then it
like a sheet of soap?
Yes.
Do you bring these?
I haven't brought them, but I've seen them in the store.
Well, you're saying as if it's like a thing that we've seen on the trail or that you brought or that I brought. I don't know.
I don't see what people wash their hands with on the trail. Probably packed away when we're hiking on the trail, just FYI.
So the question is like, what's the most environmentally friendly?
What is the most, what leaves the minimizes the environmental impact and follows leave no trace? The best.
Gotta be. Well, I mean, how would a solar charger leave an impact? It's just sitting there, and then you take it.
Are you fishing for input? What are you?
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna say solar charger.
Correct. Solar charger is correct. Nice job, dude.
Thank you. That's really on Leave No Trace. Is bring a solar charger?
That's what they classified it as.
That's
I guess
weird.
Like the hammock on the tree. I could see how you might damage a tree, maybe, right?
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
Collapsible water filter. I thought could be it too, but then anything biodegradable it's not bad, but it's also like you could leave a trace of something, right? Like you're washing it away.
Can I just say real quick that Leave No Trace is one of the weirdest organizations ever. I know people are like, Leave No Trace, and they almost like whisper it, like Leave No Trace as you're walking by, right? But they advocate for trails which are literally digging up and bulldozing the hillside, scarring up the land, which is the exact opposite of Leave No Trace. So I don't know, like it's just a weird organization.
It was like when I got lectured in the Canyonlands for breaking the crust, Carl. I got
more than once, right?
I got a stern. I got some ugly glares.
Did somebody say to you, when they did that?
They did. Was it I want to say something similar to that. Somebody did something like that.
Eric was getting out of the way of hikers, and he was standing on the edge of the trail with
there was nowhere to go,
millimeter of his shoe onto the crust, which had already been trampled a million times. And the person was like, you're like, I don't know what they said.
Guys, listen. And I'm open to hearing anybody in the BB family who has a better option when you see 3, 4, 5 people coming. There's nowhere to go. You had to break the crust. I'm like, what am I going to do? I would love to know what this lady would have done. So any input is welcome. Number 2, what material is most common for an ultralight pack construction? Is it canvas, nylon, polyester, rayon?
I'm not a materials guy, dude. There's like podcasts that just feature materials nonstop. They could do a whole.
I thought you would know this right away.
Cloth, yeah. It's gotta be. Well, it's not polyester. It's not canvas. It's either rayon or Or what was the second one? It was
nylon or rayon.
I guess nylon. I'll go with.
Yes, it's nylon, but you were not sure. Okay. I thought you'd get that. That was an easy.
I'm not like people have like codes and shortened versions of words, and I know some of that stuff, but I'm not passionate. I'm like, ooh, what material is that?
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah. Just for the record.
Dyneema. Ooh, Dyneema. It's really expensive. Buy your Dyneema bag for $700. Like I'm not.
That is kind of like
guy. Yeah.
Okay, well we all know that now. Well, you passed trivia, so congrats. If you get this, I'll be impressed. This is more of a hiking question. Let's see, what did I say here? Which terrain is not a type of hiking terrain? So this is not something you would hike on. Is it scree? Is it talus? Is it tiger's eye? Or is it scrennis? Or fuculite? I'll read those
5 answers.
I'll give you 5.
5 choices there.
I'll give you which is not something you would hike on. Fuculite, talus, scree, tiger's eye, or scrennis.
Okay. How many of these did you make up, just like out of the top of your head?
All of these are something you could theoretically hike on, except one.
Well, I've hiked on like a scree field. I've hiked in talus areas, so it's got to be one of those weird ones. I don't know what tiger's eye is, and those like made up science words. I'm not a science guy, so I'll go with screntilus or whatever that was.
Scrennis?
Scrennis.
Scrennis is correct. It is correct.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what it is either. Tiger's eye is like a quartz. It's like
this is your trivia question. Why didn't you look up what this was so we can learn?
Let me explain. So I looked at tiger's eye is like a quartz. Okay. Fuculite is like a calcium. It's like a calcium carbonate silica from Japan. They discovered it the year I was born, 1977. Great year. So those are all things you could theoretically step on or hike on. The scrennis, I looked up scrennis. You know what came up when I looked up scrennis? SCRENUS.
Yeah,
screens.
It's a made-up word.
It was a made-up word. It was screens. I got all I could find was screens. I'm like, this isn't what I Googled though. So I have no idea what it is.
People don't typically hike on screens, is what you're saying.
No.
All right.
Correct.
Wow.
So
please subscribe for more fun facts like that. People don't hike on screens. There you go.
Good job, Carol, on trivia. 3 out of 3. You're on a hot streak. Good for you, dude.
Well, we'll
Good for
see.
you.
You find ways to wreck that with your awesome questions. So we'll see how this season goes. But all right,
Mhm.
I think I just got one tidbit. So with John Kelly, we did an episode on like big ripoff gear, and we picked on a couple companies that just like have crazy overpriced gear. And one of them was a company called Western Mountaineering. Have you heard of this company, Derek?
Western Mountaineering. It sounds familiar. I'm not. No.
Okay. I've never bought anything from them, but they have a 0-degree sleeping bag for upwards of $1,400.
What?
$1,400.
What? See,
Yeah.
no, we talked about this a few weeks ago with our guest. It was, just because it says 0 degrees,
Right.
it doesn't mean you're going to be comfortable at 0, but you might
it's
survive.
dependent on the sleeping pad. It's dependent on the R value.
You're right. Then that does contribute. So I don't know.
Right.
It's just so suspect when you see this stuff, and then they're just going to gouge you with $1,400 pricing. That's absurd.
So this is we put ourselves out there and challenged multiple companies, but this was the one that we got a ton of pushback on, surprisingly. So I got pushback, like people were just like, I bought a Western Mountaineer bag. I think it's the best bag ever. One person that probably made the best argument said, mountaineers essentially swear by Western Mountaineer bags. And I said, okay, well, you got me there because I'm not a mountaineer. So I can't speak to that. So I could just be ignorant in this area. Maybe there's something special about Western mountaineering bags that are better for mountaineering that I don't know about, which is fine. And I'll totally own that. But then I thought about it more. I was like, okay, even if that's true, in the end, you're looking for a bag that's durable, a bag that is comfortable, assuming you have the proper pad to the rating that it is set at. And there are bags that are a fraction of the price that qualify, where we've taken them down to cold temperatures and they're fine and they're durable. So I don't know what more I want out of my bag. I don't know why I would spend $1,000 more on a bag. Are you with me on that one?
I don't either. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It can't. How much better really is it? Right. Send us one, guys.
I mean, maybe I don't know. Like I have a North Face bag, and North Face isn't even known for the best quality, but I bought that bag as my first sleeping bag backpacking. So that thing is like 30 years old and it's still going strong. So what would be different about a Western Mountaineering bag, I suppose?
I don't like, what are they putting in it that's that much better? Is it the quality of the fabric? Is it the internal? I think
it's like, is it made in America? I got to check. Some people are saying made in America stuff, which that does obviously up the price. That part's fair.
How is it like thick and heavy and all that, or what?
It's lightweight, but it's not the lightest weight one. Like you can definitely buy other ones. Yeah. So anyway, all that to say that's the one we got the most feedback on. So if you can explain better what makes it different than, say, like an Outdoor Vitals bag or a Mountain Hardwear bag or some of these other ones, Enlightened Equipment is made in America. They make ultralight quilts, and they are not $1,400. They are way less than that. And so, and that's ultralight and high quality. So I don't know.
I think, very razor thin line, which is questionable.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, Derek, what's the most expensive piece of gear that you own
currently?
For backpacking.
Oh gosh.
Like what's up there? It doesn't have to be the number one, but what's up there?
Typically
it'd be, your pack, your tent, your bag,
other than my Osprey, other than my pajama pants. No, I'm just kidding. Let me I want to say it's probably my pack. I think my pack was like, when I bought it, it's super old now, but it's like, I want to say it was like 200 something.
That's not bad for today's price.
It's not that bad, no. But when I do buy something, I usually keep it for a very long time, which I've kept this pack for a long time. So,
okay.
Do
you think how much do you think it's worth now that you've used it on a bunch of trips, but that it has a legendary story of how you got it? Like how much?
And it has a little repair stitch on it. I think it becomes vintage now. I think it's probably more value. I would say like $400 or $500.
I'll give you $250 for it right now. $250.
Not going to sell it. Sentimental. Okay.
$275.
I know that you're jealous of the story, and that makes me want to keep it.
If I buy the pack, can I tell the story from like a first person point of view?
Yeah, you could, but it's not for sale. The story comes with the pack.
All right. We're in the tidbit session. We're closing out. Leave us with the story, Derek. This is the story. One of the stories that builds our podcast.
Oh, the backpack story?
The backbone of our show. How did you get the pack?
Let me tell it. Okay, we were at REI. We were looking for a new pack because the old pack was just on its last legs. But I said, I don't want a heavy pack. I want a lightweight, durable, quality pack. I was like, oh, here's this 36-liter Stratus bright green Osprey pack looks beautiful.
Mm.
And I thought to myself, let me think about what I put in here. Love the side access, love all these pockets, lightweight frame, blah, blah, blah. And I asked the guy, I said, hey, Chris, REI employee, I said, hey, this is a pack I could use, right? For backpacking. He's like, no. This is a day pack. This is a day pack. You don't use this to go backpack. I'm like, well, Chris, I'm pretty sure I could fit all my gear in here. So I'm going to get it. And I did. And then I bought it. I used it. I loved it. I still have it, obviously. And then I went back to REI and he's like, did you buy that pack? And I was like, Chris, I bought the 32 and you know what? It was fabulous. And I still have it. I think you need to revamp what your thought process is here with selling these packs. So we've asked him to be on the podcast and we never heard back from him. So maybe he feels foolish. I don't know.
Well, there's an epilogue part of the story where I've been to that REI 3 or 4 times since then, trying to find Chris to get his side of the story, and he's never been there. Like, he still works there, but he's never been there.
That's crazy that you haven't. I feel like I see him every time I go. Maybe you need to go with me. Maybe let's
go together.
Okay,
let's do it together.
That sounds fair.
Next
guys,
time.
That is it for me. That's it for Carl. I think
all for me.
That's it. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Remember, if you are saving your ear wax and your eye boogers and your toe jam for protein on the trail, you are probably an ultralight.